My name is Stephen Rafferty, and you're watching These Are Questions. This is the interview show where I ask people questions about things, life, and such not. And today's guest is an incredibly talented dancer that is moving up in the ranks of professional dancing. Please welcome Dani Left.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here. So yeah, we were talking about it before. My name is Izquierdo, but we're gonna go with Left because it's a lot easier for a lot of people. But yeah, my name is Danaeli Izquierdo, and good morning. I'm super excited.
Good morning to you as well, and welcome to These Are Questions, and thank you for the explanation. As mentioned before, I don't want to mess up names, and I was like, you know what? Let the master say the name professionally and correctly, because knowing me, I'm going to botch it, and I'm going to be straight with it, because it's just me.
It's okay. It's not just you. I promise. Mm-hmm. I literally, my whole life. But I appreciate you trying.
Thank you. It's a thought that counts.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And while you're drinking that water, I'm just going to explain the rules of These Are Questions. Dani, I'm going to ask you a series of questions going to be based around your career and aspirations, along with a mixture of questions that are borderline idiotic and, well, randomly stupid.
Okay.
Okay, you accept those terms?
Absolutely. The terms and conditions, check.
Okay, cool. Sign off. I got it right here. Cool. So, Dani, are you ready?
Yes. Are you ready?
Oh, no one's ever done that to me. Oh man. I don't know if I'm ready. I wasn't prepared for that. Oh no. Where do we go from here? I'm gonna put the technical difficulty sign right now. Okay, we're back. To answer the question, I think I'm ready. So that was good. I'll give you that. That was pretty good. Put me on my toes. With that readiness in mind, let's officially begin our These Are Questions interview. So thank you so much for being a part of These Are Questions. I incredibly appreciate it there. I really do. Pun intended, we're going to boogie along in this interview. That's my dancing pun for today. I would love for you to tell me your story on how you got into the world of dancing.
So my story is a little different. I want to say I got into the world of music first.
Okay.
I got into the world of dancing. So I was born in Mexico, and in Mexico, we used to have school performances where we would do little parades and stuff like that. But when I came to the US, that kind of all was put to stop because you're moving to a whole different country. You're building from the bottom up. So dancing and all that was non-existent until my church created a dance team, essentially. So it was a praise dance group. And I did that for a few years. I want to say 3 years or so. And then in middle school, I joined the band. So I started off by playing the clarinet. And then in high school, I joined the marching band. So we would be out in the summer, out in the fields, running on the track, hardcore stuff. I'm telling you, band camp is not easy. So we did that. And then by the time I was a junior, I got put in a leadership position, which is being a drum major. So a drum major is essentially the one who's the one in the front conducting the band.
Okay.
Or in traditional marching bands, it's with the mace, and you have ways to conduct your band. And then senior year, I was the head drum major. So I really got to study music. All of it was just music and how certain parts fall into the whole score, how I can hear a tuba and I can hear the clarinets and the flutes and the trumpets. You really get to feel all of that come together. And then once I graduated high school, I went away for college, but my idea of dancing was this is it. There's no more music in me anymore. I have to go get a stable job. So I went to college and I studied nursing. I got my AA, and COVID hit, and I was like, this is not for me. Something about nursing is just not for me, at least right now. I don't want to say it's never for me, but at least right now. So then during COVID, once it opened back up little by little, I took my first dance class, like an official dance class with its instructor and everything, you know. Which is funny story. I ended up walking into Bad Bunny's choreographer's class,
Oh, yo. Okay.
and yeah, my first class was her. I'm thinking I'm gonna catch on because I'm like, oh, I know music. Like, how hard can this be? I got humbled. I got humbled. And then from there, I was taking classes very sporadically. Like I would take one every other month, or I would take one every 2 weeks. It was very like not on a schedule. Um, and then once I moved back to South Florida, I was like, I feel like I can get something out of this. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's like my calling, the
Yeah.
music world, this industry of, being a creative. So then here, once I started coming here, I just started taking my dance classes through steezy.com, which is like an online school. And I
Okay.
did a whole that. And then I started going to a dance studio back in January. So I walked in, I asked the owner, hey, do you need an intern to kind of do your check-ins in exchange for free dance classes? And he's like, actually, I do. So for the last 6 months, I was an intern at a dance studio in Boca Raton. And yeah, throughout those 6 months, I met a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of connects. Even the past like year and a half, like I had somebody shoot me a DM and was like, "Hey, do you want to collab?" And that was like my very first time ever collabing with anybody. And that was like a year and a half. No, it was about a year and like 3 months ago. And it kind of felt like a push that like, okay, this is actually doable. Like I can do something with dancing. And yeah, I've been rolling ever since. And yeah, it's only picking up the momentum. Like I know it's like gonna get bigger and better, bigger and better. So
Absolutely. It's like a ripple effect. Once you start doing the one big thing, like all these little things start connecting and they start going together and you start doing more collaborations, more projects, and then it leads to bigger opportunities there. So I know that's gonna be amazing.
absolutely, yeah. Like even so, I ended up becoming. I got my Zumba license,
Hey.
and when I went to that workshop, I walked in and there was the CEO of Zumba who was teaching that workshop.
Mm.
And I remember all the girls were there with like their brand new clothes, brand new shoes, brand new Zumba attire. And I'm here looking bum. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna get the Zumba license. Like, what am I gonna get out of this? Like, And like I feel like since I walk into spaces like that where it's like no expectations, like let's see what this is about, I come out with even bigger like results. And it just feels like everything's aligned perfectly.
Absolutely. If you try to give yourself like zero to little expectations in like most things in life, when the good things do happen, you're going to be more than surprised and more than ecstatic when it actually happens. And you're like, wow, I wasn't expecting that. So,
No,
and
sure.
you, yeah, and you just said like you met the choreographer for Bad Bunny and you met the CEO of Zumba all down here in South Florida. So like that's two major connections right there and there. And like in your industry, if you're trying to get into professional dancing, at least you're in a really good hub for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
And it's nice to just put yourself out there with these big names, big people. And even if you just stay in the back, which is what I did for the Bad Bunny class, like I just kind of stayed in the back and I tried, but I wasn't like in the middle, like ready to ask questions. I was just kind of more observant. You still learn so much, you know,
Absolutely.
everything can teach you one thing you can come out with. So
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that there. And you've had a chance to learn a lot of different styles. And it kind of leads to my next question here. What is your favorite style of dance to perform?
to perform,
Mhm.
I would say jazz funk,
Okay. Good
which
stuff.
is like it's jazz but commercial. So it's
Yeah.
not technical and like, with the kicks and the leaps, and it's very more like a commercial. What you would see on a commercial basically. That is what I like to do on the stage. And hip hop.
Mhm. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good combo there. They all kind of intertwine in each other. And
For sure.
um, and when we met indirectly, you were dancing for Carnival, and like that was a completely different style. And I got to see you perform a couple times, so like I've seen a variety of your different styles there. So like multifaceted in that sense, multi dance intuitive there.
Yeah. I would say though, like when I do get to perform and I get to freestyle, my go-to is house. I have such a love for house music. Like, I don't know, it feels like such a soul kind of movement and kind of sound. So if I ever get to like really pick a dance to perform, I would go with house.
Okay. Follow-up question now that you talk about house. Who's your favorite house artist?
That's hard. That's so I see, I have a lot of like, I guess we can think of it as a mosaic.
That's
Like I
fine.
have it's a mix of every like a little bit of artists that just kind of build up this whole genre of house. So I would say like Black Coffee. Um, he's a really good one. I would also say Zed's Dead, even though they're not really like a housey, they do have some house beats that they make. Um, Takami, you know, it's a lot of people. I really love house for sure. What's your favorite music wise?
So, well, my background is actually in punk rock, is where my roots actually originally started. Yeah, it was a punk rocker. I used to go to like concerts and like go into like I didn't really do mosh pits too much, but like I would be in those kind of crowds. But I would hang out a lot. I'm a big Rancid fan when it comes to punk rock. It's like Rancid, H2O,
Mosh
Misfits.
pit?
Oh, they're very scary. They're violent. You're gonna get everyone gets hurt. But that's kind of the appeal of it. That's why I never really did it that much. I did it like once or twice, But I like just listening to the bands and the music. I wasn't really the big like I'm gonna kick somebody in the face while I'm like raging out.
Yeah,
Um, that's just me. But plenty of people do that, and like that's how they get their pent up violence out. So hey, you do you.
right.
Um,
Bro, adrenaline rush.
that adrenaline rush, definitely. But then I kind of evolved my music to try out different genres, and like I wasn't really big into hip hop and rap when I was younger, but I got into it later on through various artists such as like George Watsky, Anderson Paak, Alyssa Marie. They're more on the independent side, and through them they kind of showed me lyrics that wouldn't be out of like traditional rappers. But then I listened to their influences of what they listened to, such as like Nas and like Eminem, right? For example, just as examples there. And I would move on to those types of different genres of music. And I would listen to like all kinds of stuff. And like I do listen to house tracks too. I listen to pretty much everything because like if it's good music, it's good music.
Right. I do think that music, like the more music you listen to, the more connected you are with one another because it's a language and it's
I
like you're a lot of people through the musical language.
Yeah, absolutely. You learn so much from it. And like I like to play music when I get a chance to too. I know a little bit of guitar. I could play a mean bongo. So
Okay.
so there you go. That's something there. So I do play a little bit, but I love listening to music and I love listening to all kinds of different types of artists and different genres. From hip hop to rap to house to electronic to punk rock to melodies, like whatever. If it's good music, it's good music. And I like that eclectic style there. And I think as a performer, you learn from their styles and you can kind of highlight that and kind of inspire you to do different things as a performer, as a musician, and as an entertainer.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Take inspo from anybody or anything. Like it's so I think once you get rid of that creative block or like that fear of holding you back, like you can find inspiration in almost anything.
Mhm. Absolutely. I definitely agree with that there. I totally do. And now that we're talking so much about music, now I got to send you my music playlist now.
Hell yeah. Hell
hmm
yeah.
I got some good tracks. I got some good stuff.
Yeah. Send it over. I'm
Let's
always
do it.
down.
Yes, absolutely. And before I go on my next question, I will plug in for a second here too. If you go back for people that watched and viewed, These Are Questions season 3, we did a playlist of all the guests' favorites tracks based on their personality. So that's another playlist to check out as well. So indirect
Oh,
plug, but I'm going to plug in as well.
okay, bet. Hell yeah. That's actually really unique.
Well, that's These Are Questions. It's a unique show that asks questions about things, life, and such not. We mix in stupid questions in between. So it's just how it goes.
Period. Okay,
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah, let's do it. We're betting. And speaking of stupid questions, the next question I want to ask you is that did you know that Nickelodeon is making a Good Burger 2?
Are they really?
Yes, I'm not joking. They are.
Huh.
There's a Good
Okay.
Burger sequel coming out. Have you seen the original Good Burger?
I have.
Okay,
I
okay.
just, every time somebody makes a sequel of anything, it's just like, why? Unless it's like meant for it to have a sequel. It's like, for what? But I have to see the trailer. See.
I haven't. The trailer's not out there. It's in development at the moment. And what do you think? Good Burger, Good Burger 2 definitely needs a sequel from the first one. Totally, definitely, definitely. You
Yeah.
gotta. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order again?
Okay, that's funny. Yeah. There's so many ways that they can go about it. I hope that it still has the humor from the first one.
Hopefully, I hope there's humors and burgers and good people in this sequel.
Yeah, for sure.
And let me ask you this next question here. Would you ever want to live inside a fisheye lens?
Like a fish, like bowl type of thing.
So a fisheye lens is a camera lens. So it's a
Oh,
camera lens that's shaped like a bowl. So the pictures come out as a bowl. I'm asking you, would you want to live inside one of those?
huh. Probably not. I love the effect. I asked you the other day for that style camera, and I love getting pictures like that. But to live, I think I would go a little crazy. Cause like, how do you define reality and that kind of view? You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, inside the eyes of a fisheye, like everything's it's like a globe. Like this will be all spherical.
What's the word? Not disoriented.
A dystopia?
Distorted. It's all distorted.
Distorted. Yes.
Disoriented. Oh. Yeah.
So no, it's okay. It's okay. You don't want to live inside the fisheye lens. I understand. It's not for everybody.
No, I think I could visit,
Okay.
check a room, and then check out.
Yeah. Okay.
Living.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You heard it on These Are Questions. Dani does not want to live inside a fisheye lens.
I'm okay. Thank you, though.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Maybe for next time in the future.
Well, we'll see.
That's definitely a no. I got that. I got that internal communication there. Definitely not. It's all good. My next question I want to ask you, though, is a question that I've been asking every single guest here on These Are Questions Season 6. And it's a question that I'm trying to ask to determine a team. I want you to pick the team. Pick either Team Alpha or Team Omega. Pick one.
Alpha.
Okay. Any reason? You just like Alpha? You like to be the Alpha person?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
I'm
fair.
not sure. Yeah, no, for sure. It's like, no, yeah, Alpha. Let's go with Alpha.
Alpha. Okay. I respect it. That Alpha, I want you to save. I want you to remember that for the end of the season because it's gonna play a really big important role. So I can't tell you what it's gonna be about, but it's gonna involve alphas and omegas. So yeah.
Okay. Huh, bet.
Yeah. So just save that for later.
Oh.
Save it. Put it behind the fisheye lens. I don't want to do this section of the brain. So right next to it.
Bet. Sounds good.
All right, cool. Next question I want to ask you is why is Netflix so expensive now?
Man, first of all, Netflix.
Oh, shade.
It's just, why do they keep raising their prices up? And then they keep threatening the whole, oh, your account is going to get suspended or whatever the if you share with other people. Like, my guy, you thought we weren't going to share? Like, you think we're out here sitting paying, what is it now, $12.99?
$12.99 for the base price, but if you're trying to get all the features what Netflix normally used to have, it's over $20 a month now. It's expensive.
$20? No,
I'm serious. I'm not joking. What they did is that they separated by tiers. So if you get the lowest quality form of Netflix, I think it's $12.99. Don't quote me on that number. But if you go up the tiers and you get more movies and you get the higher quality because they're charging by 720p, 1080p, 4K, all that kind of stuff, If you want the highest one, the one that Netflix normally had, it's over $20 a month. It's expensive.
You know what? I can't even hate on it because like they're collecting their bag, but like damn,
Yeah.
it used to be like what, $8?
It used to be $7.99 a month because I used to have Netflix when it first came out, when Netflix were just DVDs and you would get it out on like the giant machines and you would rent it out that way. Did you know that?
Oh my God, that was a thing.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I completely forgot. What? I used to go to like Walmart and to the supermarket, rent,
You
watch
rent
it.
it. Yep. Return it back. Yep.
What? That is crazy. Yeah, times have changed. Now it's almost doubled, and like that's for the base price. Like before, it wasn't no base, no tiers, no nothing. It's you have an account, you get to watch everything for however you want to watch it. Like you get all the qualities that you want. Like what? How do you feel? Is it Team Netflix or Netflix?
Right now I don't have a subscription in them because I canceled my subscription at the moment. I'll more or less like pick and choose. Like if there's a certain show, I'll pay for that month and then I'll binge watch the show and then I'll dip, you know?
Okay.
And I don't do the $20 a month, but I try to go over like the cheaper tier if I can, especially if it's for like one or two shows. I don't have a consistent account. I go to other platforms or I just go to YouTube, honestly.
There's so
just
much
TikTok.
out there. Yeah. There's so much out there that's like sometimes you don't even need to go spend that money. Like YouTube too. They're being annoying. Oop, not my phone about to die.
Oh no. Oh, it's gonna turn into a rapid fire interview.
No, for real. Hold up. Let me get a charger.
No worries.
Why is it connected so far away?
Because Netflix put a price tier on it.
Oh, for real. Goodness. Everything has a price now.
Yes. I'm keeping that in now. I'm keeping that in now.
For real.
I'm not cutting that part. This is
okay.
it.
Oh, is it gonna reach? No, it's not. Okay. We might have to do this angle type of interview now.
I'm fine with the angle. If I could, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Bet. Okay, cool. So going back to your dancing and going back to your dance skills, my next question I do want to ask you is what are some of your dream venues or dream shows that you want to showcase your dancing skills in?
I have a few dream artists.
Okay, that's fine. I'll allow it.
So first one is Rosalia.
She's down here.
She is. Oh my God. I feel like her music, I just connect to it so like it's not like a superficial like, oh, I like her music. Like I connect to it so deeply, and like it just brings out so many emotions that I just would love to perform with her. And then Raul Alejandro, who is her boyfriend, well now fiance because they're engaged. So them too. Like I think they're such a power couple, and if I could dance for either one of them or both, I would be so happy. Because what? That'd be amazing. And then I would like to perform at Coachella.
Okay.
I feel like that's a place to perform at with like Beyonce or something. Like what? Coachella. Right. Anything's possible.
Yeah. Just send a DM to everyone and be like, hey,
exactly.
need a dancer.
Or any like award show, like the VMAs or the Latin Grammys or the BET Awards, something like that along those lines. I feel like that'd be really cool to do.
That would be pretty cool.
Those are my, I guess they're not venues, but like events that I would really like to be in.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. You never know. This show is a very interesting show, doing 6 seasons of These Are Questions, and some things have manifested when guests have said certain places they want to work, businesses they want to be in, life situations. So I get messages sometimes saying, hey, remember the dumb interview that you did, Steven? Yes, I remember that dumb interview that I did. Well, this thing happened now. It came from your show. And I'm like, manifestation, my man.
That's amazing. Yeah, that really, manifestation really is a thing. And like the more that you believe in it, the more it happens.
I think it's a mixture of believing in your own internal self, but also putting the work into XYZ. Like you can't just be
Oh,
like manifesting and be like, I want to be a multimillionaire. And I'm like, that's
right.
fine if you want to be that, but you got to put work into it, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 1000%.
Absolutely.
A lot of people live their life with doing the hard work and not having some sort of like higher self that they want to achieve. And like that can also be very pointless. But I think you need the perfect mixture of hard work and faith.
Yeah. I think that's a good point right there. I like that. A mixture of hard work and a level of belief and faith for what you're trying to do. And I think if you have those two things, I think you can do a lot on this planet. So
Absolutely. I agree.
there you go. There you go. See, you learn a lot here on These Are Questions. It's not just all about stupid questions, you know. It got
Mhm.
some insightful things here.
Of
And
course.
yeah, absolutely. And you know, it leads to my next question, and the question I want to ask you is we kind of touched into it because you were talking a little bit about advice here. What's a specific dancing piece of advice that you can share to our audiences here on These Are Questions?
So a year ago, I went to the Miami Heat orientation. I did an audition, but the day before they had like a mock audition to kind of like see what's up. And mind you, I've never auditioned for anything. I just went in, got a number, saw what's up and whatnot. And at the end, we had time to go ask the dancers or the coach any questions. So that day I went up to a former dancer and I was like, hey, like, where did you find your confidence? Like, how do you exude that? And she was what she told me, and like I will never forget this, and this is the advice that I just ran with it, was that, you know, not everybody is gonna like your dancing. So you just dance like how you dance, rock with it, and somebody's gonna end up liking it. You know, you're not gonna be for everybody, but there's somebody out there who's gonna with it and give you all the opportunities that you want. And like I feel that translates even outside of dance. It could be your art, it could be your photography, your videography. Like it's not gonna be everyone's style, but you are gonna have some people who are gonna love it and they're gonna rock with you.
That piece of advice, like you just said, applies not just in dance, but in the creative arts, but not just in the creative arts. I think just life in general. You know, if you're trying to be somebody that you're not, that's going to come out very quickly. But if you have a level of authenticity and you're just doing your own unique style, which you were given by birthright, right?
Mhm.
Some people are not going to like it. There's people that are not going to mess with it, but then the right people are going to love it for who you are and what you're doing. And those are the people that you want in your life, whether it be professionally, in a business perspective, career perspective, creative perspective, or even relationship perspective. If you're not yourself with your person that you're with, like that's going to come out very quickly. You should be together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you should be together for who you are as a spouse, partner, whatever, but also in a
Right.
business sense, also in a creative sense. Like the right people will come to you at the right time.
I agree. I agree. And like I remember thinking on it and I was like, you know what? Like, because I'm not a technical dancer at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like my whole first like 20 years of life was like feeling music. Even when I praise dance, it was all feeling that music and letting it move you. So I came to a realization that, you know what, like you can teach me technicalities, but you can't teach me my spiritual connection to music and my authenticity. Like that's not something that you can be taught. You either have that within you or you don't. And I kind of just ran with that advice to the point where I like now when I freestyle, like I'll do freestyle battles and like whatever comes out of my body was meant for it to come out of my body. Like I don't hold myself back anymore. It's just like F it, you know.
Yeah, here it is. This is what it
Here
is.
it is.
Take it or
This
leave
is what
it.
you're getting. It might
Mm-hmm.
be something whack. That's what you're getting. I'm not gonna be like, oh, that didn't come out good, and then go cry about it. No, it came out. It happened. You know.
it happened. Now it's time to move on to the next thing, and the next dance and the next dance and the next dance, and like you get better as practice comes on. So like I think there's a level of especially for certain companies, there's a certain style. But I always say don't completely ruin your unique style. Always have a little bit of that there, because that's what separates you from everybody else.
Absolutely. Oh, where to go? Okay.
Where to go? Oh, they've got more tech difficulties. I'll bring back the bleep. We'll bring it back.
Sorry. She got a little bit more juice, so I can put it back here.
There you go. And it's okay, because we're finishing up our These Are Questions interview. This has been a fun, exciting, dance-filled, boogie woogie interview. I'm gonna keep using that pun.
Boogie
woogie. It's boogie nights. It's you're gonna disco. It's a discotheque. We'll go from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s, to the 2010s and now the 2020s. We'll give you all kinds of music, all kinds of dance.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What was the best era of music?
Oh, well, everyone says like whatever generation that they're in. So let's say you're born like in the 70s, they're gonna say the 70s was the best. If they're in the 80s, they're gonna say the 80s are the best. I was in the 90s, so I'm gonna say the 90s are the best. I'm gonna say it's gonna be between like the 80s and like maybe the early 2000s. It would be my two like eras, because the 80s, you have all that 80s music that's coming back now. We were like through synthwave and through like electronic dance and through like EDM and all these different genres, so it's being recycled in that sense. And I'm gonna say early 2000s, because like unlike the 90s where it had like grunge and it had like that heavy hard rock genre going in, which I love that, the 2000s had a good mix of like everything. You had amazing artists on the rock scene and the punk rock scene, in the hip-hop scene, the R&B scene, like even country. Like you had like a good collection of artists from those genres all mixed into one. So I think that is going to be a highlight of an era there if I had to choose one. But it's a hard question, because like I pick and choose artists from everything, and bands from everywhere, and make my own kind of style with it, or own kind of music taste with it. So it's hard to pick a genre and an era. And especially since like every generation is going to pick like their own era as the best era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figure I asked because we're talking about it. I was like, huh.
It's a good question. I like it. You can take my job here. Take it.
Amazing.
Yeah,
when do I start? Can I start on Monday? I'm going to the beach today, so I can't do it today.
Oh, well, you could do These Are Questions on the beach,
That's true. Okay.
There you go. Just interview random beachgoers and ask some stupid questions.
Honestly.
Honestly. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Your concept of time and dance and art and creativeness and amazingness.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And let me finish off, as much as I want to keep talking, and we're definitely going to talk more about music after this. I tell you that right off the bat. But the question I want to ask to finish off our These Are Questions interview is a very simple question. Dani, are you an inbounds type of person or an out of bounds type of person?
Can I say in the middle?
So just a bounds type of person.
Bounds person. I'm a bounds person.
Okay.
You can go so like analytical with that. Like what? Yeah, no, I'm a middle, because like sometimes I'll bounce out and then I'll hop back in, and then I'm in bounds, but then I'll be out of bounds.
Okay. You just be bouncing.
I do. I really do though. Literally.
It's like a trampoline. You're just jumping up and down on the trampoline in the middle.
No, there's literally like warm-ups where you just bounce and you hop, and that like builds your calves. Like I'm so serious. I'm always bouncing.
Really? Okay, I did not know that.
House music is like a very bouncy feeling.
That's true. Yeah.
So, like as you're bouncing through your movements, I'm so serious. I be bouncing all the time.
Okay. I know. I believe you. I just didn't know that. That's cool. Okay. So yeah, that fits you perfectly. So you're a balanced type of person, right in the middle. If you need to go stay in bounds, you stay in bounds. But if you need to go out of bounds and get out of the box and do something creatively funky, like let's go.
Absolutely. Like at times you should follow the framework of like even laws, following laws and stuff. Like, you don't always want to break the law, but then there's times, right, you don't want to do that, but then there's times where you can take some risks and, you know, explore on the, like, the risky side and be like, oh, what's out there, with the mentality, okay, let me always come back to center.
As long as you have that center ground, you could do quite a bit. And you have that middle between, you can play around with that and really make some cool creative successes there. So I like that.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Just like that, we are at the end of our These Are Questions interview. You did it. Congratulations.
Yay.
Yes. Dani, it's been a pleasure interviewing you for These Are Questions, but now the internet floor is yours. Anything you want to talk about, anything you want to do, anything you want to say before we wrap up this These Are Questions interview, the floor is yours.
Well, I'm going to start off by saying thank you again for having me on here. Thank you for the photo shoot that we had last week, and for all the edits. They came out so dope. I think you should keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great stuff. And what's it called? For the viewers, I want to say, keep on, like, dreaming. Like, don't just stop because things are getting hard. Like, everything's gonna be hard at the end of the day, but you have to choose what kind of difficulties you want to deal with. Do you want to deal with waking up at 5 a.m. because you have a dance tech rehearsal, or do you want to deal with you have to wake up at 5 a.m. to go to a job that you hate because you felt like your dreams couldn't come true? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just choose your different type of difficulty and be a smart person. Don't just make decisions blindly. Realize how all of the dots can connect to each other if you play your cards right. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's all I have as insight and this brain can give out at the moment, because your girl has just woken up.
There you go. And the best time to do These Are Questions is when you just wake up in the morning. That's the best time to do it.
There goes my phone.
There you go. Rip.
Oh my god. Okay.
Well,
sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Great advice there. And like I said, thank you so much for being part of These Are Questions. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you to the viewers and listeners that are watching/listening to These Are Questions, whether you're watching on youtube.com or listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. We greatly appreciate your support. All I have to say left is that you have been watching/listening to These Are Questions. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Bye.
Bye.